Hey guys, and welcome back to the channel. It has been way too long since our last video update, so let me catch you up, or at least as best I can. You see, since we last spoke, we actually sold our house, which means we sold our garage. And since we didn't have anywhere to store it, that means we sold our project YJ. Now the good news is we did make a little bit of money off of it, so all that work that we put into it didn't go to waste, but I don't have the project anymore, and so we can't finish it. Now, since then, we have actually finally finished building our new house. It took us almost 2 years, oh my word, but thank you, COVID, for the length of time. But we're finally there, and we have a garage, and our garage is empty, in need of a new project. Well, I say empty, we'll see that later, but it needs a new project. And so my wife and I have been scouring the internet for something that might work. Really we were looking for a Jeep YJ that didn't need a lot of work because I just want to be able to drive it. Well, we came up short. We didn't find one that was almost done. We found one that is in need of a lot of TLC. And so that's actually, I'm on the road right now. I'm in a hotel. I've got to go to sleep here in a few minutes. But tomorrow morning, we're going to get up. We've got another couple of hours of drive to go and meet the gentleman to pick it up, and then another 6 or 8 hours to get it home in our garage. We'll go over all the details. It needs a lot of work, as I said. Now, since I've got to go to sleep and it's only going to take you a few seconds, do me a big favor and subscribe, and then click the bell icon so that you can get notified of all the future videos that we're going to post on this brand new project. And thank you for being here. So hang tight and we will be right back. All right, that was a trip. So since we last spoke, I actually got up and went and picked up the Jeep this morning. It's about a 2-hour travel there, and then about another 6.5 hours back. It is now about 4 o'clock in the afternoon almost, but we do have the Jeep. So there you go. There's the Jeep in the background. I'm going to flip the camera around and give you a real quick walk around now that we can see it in person. All right, as I said, it's a 1991 Jeep Islander, and it is in need of a lot of love. Now, I mentioned that it didn't have windows. It does actually have windows. It does not have the soft uppers for the half doors, so the ones that would go right in here. It doesn't have the frame or the windows for that, but it does have the windows that go in the back, beside the back seats, and in the rear window there as well. It is in need of some rust repair, and let me just kind of show you real quick. So all of the floorboards under here are in need of repair. You see it's actually literally falling apart there. Both sides, the other side's actually worse. The rockers on this side don't look too bad. I don't see any bubbles, but as we go around to the other side, this side is absolutely horrible, and there is no floorboard on this side. In fact, you see the little piece of metal they stuck in there just so that you had something to put your feet on. There is carpet in there. I don't know why, but there is carpet inside. We're gonna have to pull all of that out and redo it, but hey, you know, it's here now. It does run. We'll crank it up here in a second, let you hear that. It doesn't have the original wheels on it, but it does have all 4 wheels. The rear tire, for some reason, isn't actually on the wheel. We might see if we can fix that and just get it there. But there is something really interesting. So let me pop the hood real quick and show you. So what's interesting is that it does have the inline 6, which is what we were paying for, and the box and everything seems to be in better shape than most under the hood. At least it's all there. I don't see any significant holes. Usually this piece right here is missing, and don't ask me why, but it's there, so that's great. But here's the funny thing. It actually has the original jack and all the pieces to the jack right there. That is extremely uncommon. I mean, almost never will you find a Jeep that has the original jack. Now, it's not saying it's the best condition, but it is there, and they're just simply never there. So that's actually a really cool find. everything in here looks like it's all working. I can drive it around, and actually did take it for a real quick test spin just to make sure that nothing, you know, out of the ordinary was happening. The reverse gear doesn't seem to work. Doesn't seem to go in perfectly smooth. Not necessarily to be unexpected that it's going to have stuff like that happen. The other 5 gears, all 5 forward gears, all seem like they're fine. It does have a body lift, so you see the little piece of plastic there that's at an angle to the one right there, that piece. That is actually supposed to be flat and horizontal, not at that angle. And you can tell that it's got a body lift on it because each one of the body supports all have this support post like that. It's really only supposed to be this bottom piece. So the reason it's the fact that it's got that on top says that it has a body lift on it. And that looks like it's probably a 3 or 4 inch body lift, which makes the steering column really at the wrong angle. That steering column shouldn't be that high. It is a tilt steer, so we can shift that down a little bit, and so we'll probably do that. But it does make the steering column at a little bit different angle than it otherwise would be, because the body is sitting 3 or 4 inches higher than it normally would. But you know, all in all, it's a pretty decent little vehicle, it seems. Let me crank it up and let you hear it. Here we go. So it does fire up, which is actually pretty neat. Now, if I look at the gauges here, the fuel gauge looks like it's working this time. It wasn't working just a moment ago. The temperature gauge may well not be working at all. The other gauges seem like they're working right now. So actually even the little clock is ticking around, so pretty neat. Normally not all of those are working. We'll see if the temperature gauge comes up to speed here. They did add a KC switch here, which is for lights that are not on it. And there's some stuff going on down there that I'm gonna have to look at and figure out what it is. It doesn't have the original radio in it, so they cut off part of this, it looks like. Sorry, let me go up a little bit. So it doesn't have the original radio. It looks like they cut off part of this here to make it fit, unfortunately. So we'll probably have to get a new one of these to go in, and we'll just take out that radio if we have to, put something different in there to make it work. Yeah, so there you go. Very, very, very interesting. Let me take you around and show you under the hood while it's running. And it's running actually really smoothly. I don't see any issues right now. There probably will be some drips and so forth underneath. I don't see any yet, but there probably will be a few. But yeah, so it's running, it's drivable. I'll tell you what, we'll put the hood down and take you for a quick spin. All right, so we're in first gear, and we'll just take it down the road for a second here. Let me spin it out to the right. We did bring it back on the car hauler here from U-Haul. Thank you guys for letting us use that. But the trailer there, so all 4 wheels were off the ground all the way back. About 6 hours of driving, but let's go ahead and take it for a spin. So first gear, second gear, third gear, running about 1200 RPMs or so right now. Fourth gear, just to show you what it sounds like, definitely over geared there, but fourth gear. And we can put it in fifth, but there's just not enough road here to actually get it up to speed. But yeah, it's driving real good, runs real good, seems to work all right. So we'll spin it around, take it back to the house. All right, so that's the tour. It's got the soft top here, and it looks like a reasonably new top. It's got the windows that are sitting beside of me. The rear window is actually in the back here. It again doesn't have the frames and uppers for the soft doors for the soft uppers for the half doors, but we can get a set of those, I expect. Hopefully we won't have to buy a whole new top for it. But yeah, so pretty good. Seems reasonable from what we've got here. Everything looks like it's all as one would expect. I've got to get handful of different items for it, but right now it's pretty pleased with the purchase. Probably go get insurance and tags on it because it's drivable. You see that. Granted, don't put too much weight on the floor. You might go through it. But first order of business is going to be fixing the rust. We're going to take the body lift off because I don't like the look of it or the height of it. But yeah, so nice, neat little purchase, and I think it's going to be real exciting. So make sure that if you haven't, as I mentioned, please like and subscribe. You're definitely going to want to be following along as we go and try to fix the rust in the floorboards here, fix the rocker, and this side, really hold the whole side of it. There's some rust underneath the rear seats back here as well. And a carpet everywhere. So once we get the carpet out, we'll know really what we were dealing with. But the engine seems to run smoothly. Fires right up when you crank it up, which is pretty exciting because I didn't expect that. And we'll have to check out the heat and the four-wheel drive and other things as time progresses. But pretty excited about where we are right now. So thank you for tuning in. We'll look to see you next time when we can finally get it into our garage, which I now have to go build shelves so that we can make room for it. All right. We'll talk to you soon. Hang in there.